Right, I think we're ready to roll. It's Friday night 9-ball again, and the brackets have just gone up. Now, at last count, there was just a 9 in it this week. And let's have a look. We'll do a quick refresh update. And we'll see that Houdini is playing WizKid, and WizKid's getting a 7-ball. Gunnet has got a bye, Larry's got a bye, Potman is going to be playing Tommy U, and they're playing Scratch by the look of it, and we've got Arathus, who has a bye. DJ Simon is playing what the hell's that? Yazbar, and Yazbar's getting 6 and out. Wizard Cheat's got a bye, and Wink at Me has a bye, and both of them are going to be playing in the second round. So the first round match we're going to watch is going to be Potman against Tommy U. So those rooms should be up. Well, Tommy U's there. Let's have a look and see if Potman's in the chat there. He's sitting there, he's waiting on his alert to come into the room. So he should be in shortly, we hope. As usual, it's a race to 7 on the winner's side, and a race to 4 on the one loss side, I believe. And again, a quick check at the stream, it looks okay. Well, here we go. I'm about to lag off. And I don't know who's who. Well, that one's going to Scratch, so that's a failure. So Tommy U has won the lag. He breaks off, and the ball has gone into that bottom left-hand corner, which was the 6 ball. I think he's going to hook himself here. Is he going to try the jump combo? That'll be a good shot if he gets that. Or he's just going to swerve it, I think. No, he's played the jump. He'll take that any day. Got the cover. Something else has popped up. Well, that's working. Two 5 combo, and he's managed to hold on the 2. Now he needs to get high on the 3. He needs to get up the table so he can pot that 3 and hold for the 4. And he's got the angle. So it's a scratch match this, no handicap. Straight race to 7. And And we see the 8 ball goes past the 9, so there isn't a problem there. I think he's got a slight angle on the 7. He actually probably needs to play this with a little left. I don't know what he's thinking of doing. I think he's going to go, he's playing it with right English, so he's went over to the right hand side of the table. He wanted left English to come back to the left hand side. He now left it awkward. This is not easy. Not the shot I would have played. Now he's got the 8. How's he going to finish the 9? Well, it's not bad. He's a bit close, and the problem there is just judging the angle. I think he's going to be okay. And it goes, and we're off and running. 1-0 to Potman. Let's see how Tommy responds. He's got the 1 ball. Now he's got a very narrow gap to get on the 2, and this is a test of control. Straight away he's drawn into the 8 and hooked himself. Shots like that are what's going to cause you problems. Looking for a delicate touch just to find that very narrow window to get on that 2. He's played the jump to escape, but he should be in trouble in a second. I think Potman can see that too. He can see it full, so he can punch it up the table and keep the cue ball down at the, well, up at the top end as we look. But he needs to get cover behind some of those balls there. Well, he's got partial cover, and easy enough for Tommy to either bend round the 3 or jump over the 3, whatever he prefers. But he's going to have a hard job potting this 2 and getting on the 3. He's just followed straight in. So Tommy's had 2 shots, and both of them have ended up with nothing for him. The second one a scratch, and another opportunity for Potman to capitalise. And straight away he's almost, I think he's almost put himself in trouble. Let's have a look behind. Yep, he can't get to the potting angle. That was a poor shot as well. Plenty of room to get on that 4. But it's the first couple of racks, so they're warming up, trying to find their weight of shot. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm just looking at the stream. Since I put it to 1080p and I took off the DVR option, you get a much faster playback on the stream. It's actually halved. It's down to about 5 seconds from when I see the shot live to when it actually goes onto the stream. Now has Potman done himself again? Well, he can pot the 6, but he's going to have to take it into that far corner. This will be a good shot. Well, that was well played. And he's got a slight angle. He can punch the 7 in, force that cue ball forward, and get it over to the right hand side. And Tommy Yu's going to have to get himself in this match fairly quickly. He's had a couple of poor shots from his visit so far. Portman's not making his own life any easier because he's left himself short in the 9. Should still get it. It's a fine cut though. Well, there we are. Portman has had 2 chances in the first couple of racks, and he's landed on his feet straight away because he's taken both opportunities, although he scratched this time in the break. No, tell a lie, I must be out of sync. It's 1-1. What the hell's happened here? Wait a minute. Let's just leave the room and go back in case my head's out of sync more than anything else. Surely, what time is it? It's only 8:10 and I've lost the place already. Right, we're all square. I wish I should pay attention to the bloody scoreboard as well. Anyway, Portman's at the table. I think where it went wrong was me looking and checking the stream. I think that's what it was, I missed a shot. Anyway, it's 1 rack all. That's definitely the score. Here's a little testy one for Portman. 4 balls off the rail. Makes the shot a bit easier. He sent it away. Well, in actual fact then, that turned out to actually be quite a good recovery then by Tommy in the second rack there. I take it all back. There was me thinking it was Portman that was at the table. It was Tommy U, who went for the bank. It's not gone safe. Well, don't hook yourself behind the 7 or the 8 here. That's the golden rule, and Portman's played that all wrong. Stunned it onto the left rail, and he's now got... Well, it doesn't look as if it will cut, but he looks as if he's playing it. I thought he might have played the bank. Well, he's played the cut, and look at where the cue ball's going to finish up. That's a good shot. And there's enough angle there. You can just pot that 7 cue ball off there, up there, for the 8 into that pocket. He's fell short again. Just not going through with the shot, leaving himself more work to do. He's played the bank. Cue ball's miles away from the 9. Let's look at where the 9's sitting. Well, that's actually a good bank because the 9's 1.5 inches off that rail, and he should avoid the double kiss. And if he doesn't bank it in one pocket, he'll bank it in the other. Yep, that was always a good bank, that shot. So now it definitely is 2-1 to Portman. I'm trying to pay attention. Nothing in the break. 2 ball goes past the 8 after Tommy pots the 1. And that 3 ball goes down the rail past the 5 into that top pocket. Well, this is where he just needs to draw across to the right hand side of this 2 if he can. He's got an angle to do it. He's got the bit of spin on instead, and that's actually finished nice. I think the only slight problem is he's gone straight. He can certainly pot the 3, but he's going to have problems getting on the 4, so he's playing a bit of draw at bottom and right hand English, and that's went in off the 4, and that's ruined it. If he had got that 3 ball clean, he would have been perfect in the 4, but he can reverse bank this again. And we know the 5 goes past the 9. Well, deciding safety's the better policy. Four ball looks as if it's on the rail, more or less. Yep, so it's not far off, it's about a couple of millimetres off it. I think that's pretty good. Yep. Nothing doing there for Tommy. Well, to try and swerve at that distance was an impossibility, because the cue ball was always going to swerve into the 6. 6 was too far across the table to try and get round a 6. It needed to be nearer the cue ball, so it's a gift here for Potman. Plenty of room past that 9, although he's hampered a bit here by the 7 ball, and he's got to get the cue ball over for that 6. It needs to keep running. He's short again. Just struggling to find that pace. Well, now he's back in business. Should be all over this rack. 9 balls now hanging more or less in the pocket in the top right. Just drop the 7 in, drop the 8 in, and pop the 9 in. So Potman opens up a gap. Well, now 3 racks to 1 in the race to 7. No, it's now Tommy Hughes' time to respond. And he's got that cue ball tight on the 4. This is not easy to get to this 1 ball. He can certainly get between the 5 and the 8 if he's banking onto the, or kicking onto the 1. And he's left it safe. Another safety gone wrong. Left a 1 ball on. And Potman's going to have to get a wee bit of luck here to get on this too. Well, he's not even played the shot, just played it safe. Probably the wiser move. And that's probably the reason he came to that decision. Let's go up and have a closer look. He's going to try and jump it in, and he's got it, but no shot in the 2. Nice little kiss off that 8 ball. That's done him a favour. This time, Tommy Yu has a chance. Well, the angle's there, he's got to be careful, then off in the right middle. It needs a bounce. Oh dear. Well, he just isn't getting those little breaks. Well, there's a result came in fairly quickly. Wink at Me has beaten Wizard Cheat by 7 racks to 3. Meanwhile, Tommy's going to try and jump his way out of trouble. Played it well, and he's finished nice in the 4. Well, I think the safest bet here is just the draw off this or a force follow. As long as he avoids the 9. Well, he's played the draw, and that'll do it. Remember, he's got to leave that little angle in the 7. He's got that. And now he needs to get far enough up the table or down the table towards us to get on that 8. Can't leave it short. And he's done that as well. And just kill the cue ball basically, or come back an inch or 2. That would be ideal. So Tommy gets 1 back. Still trailing by 1. Now a quick check again. Tommy Yu from Germany. Potman from England. The old England-Germany rivalry, I should say. Dry break. Oh, that's went wrong. I'm sure Tommy tried to pot that 1 past the 2 and there was room to do it, but he just sent it into it. Oh, that could have been such a much better shot if it had missed that 8 ball. And Tommy can thin cut this 1. And he should be on the 2 down that rail. Well, that's not what he wanted. He's got an easy safety if he wants to play it. He could run the 2 ball there and run the cue ball over there, but I don't know. Once again, I don't know what he tried. And Potman has a 2-8 combo lined up if he wants it. And the problem with those shots is exactly that. You just don't know exactly where the 2 ball's going to end up. That's a good one by Tommy. Now if you look at the 4, once he's if he's got this 3 ball, well, he's got a shot at it, but the 4, he could make a possible combo with that 4 and 9 ball. But he won't do it from that side. Now how does he get this safe? He thought he could somehow manufacture a combo, but you can't do that at that angle. The bank played again by Potman. And he will still need another good shot in the 5. A straight pot and a roll through for the 6. And he should open up his 2-rack gap again here. Anything but straight. And that's pretty straight. He'll probably end up just stopping it. I mean, it looks as if he's running through, but he'll probably just stop the cue ball where the 6 is. He doesn't want to try and do too much. Well, he's managed to squeeze a little angle. Now get the cue ball through and get it back up to the middle pocket on the right hand side to leave yourself nice on that 9 ball. Well, that was a bit of a risky one, but he's actually finished perfect. The 7 ball wiped his feet, but he's got it nice into the opposite middle. So there we go. Potman opens the gap back to 2 racks, leading by 4 racks to 2 and breaking open rack number 7. Seven ball into the top left. A shot in the 1. Well, that 6 ball just rolled onto the 5. That could be the stumbling block for a possible run out here. And plenty of room past the 9. Well, he's played the combo. Well, what does Tommy U do here? Let's have a look. He can see nothing of the 2 ball. And if I was him, I would pot the 9, and that's exactly what he's done. He's prepared to take his chances and give Potman ball in hand and force him to go for the run out, because the 5 and 6 is tied up. So that shows you Tommy was thinking there. He didn't want to do something silly and try and hit the 2 ball and just leave an easy push onto that 9 for the rack for Potman. So still work to be done here. And Potman's the wrong side of the 3 to get into the to get up for that 4. How does this 5 look? Well, it doesn't go into that top corner. That's a definite. Is he trying to go around the corner with the cue ball? Could try and go there, there, and there. Well, he's banked to 4. And like I say, the 5 ball doesn't go from what I've seen zooming in close. Might be looking to tuck the cue ball in behind the 9. I don't think he's got the angle though. But the 5 doesn't go past the 8, so it's ended up not a bad shot. And Tommy U could play the bank. He's got nothing much else on here, so he might as well. And that's a good shot, but it's going to have to be another bank, I think. And he's played that one well. Now, he's got to follow this through. He's got to run this rack out here. 2 good banks. Get the pace right and get onto that 9. And that's a good shot. That's ideal. So Tommy Yu at the moment is hanging on to Potman's coattails, but he's back to trailing just by the 1. Can't get a ball in the break though. That 3 ball is hidden behind the 9. It's being elusive. Well, I don't think he can get to the edge of that to cut it, so maybe try and punch it around. But I think he's got the room to get it round behind that 5 and try and hold the cue ball behind the 9. I don't think he can pot the 3. Well, he didn't really get a hold of the cue ball there. And all he's done is given Tommy Yu another chance. Where's the cue ball? That's okay. Well, we know where the problem ball is. It's actually the 6 ball. It doesn't go past the 7, so you've got to get somewhere like there to get it in the middle or into that top pocket. At worst, you're going to leave a combo in the 6 and 7, and that's not ideal. And I think he's not perfectly placed on this 5 ball either. Well, he's managed to force the draw, and is he going to hold on? Oh dear, that's unlucky. Just a bit too much juice in that. Just tracked into the pocket, and ball in hand for Potman. So the gap opens up again. Back to 2 racks. Five 3 to Potman. Good evening, Simon. I'm falling asleep already, and it's only 25 to 9. It could be the possibility that it was that big Chinese meal that I ate that's probably why I'm falling asleep as well. And there's the result in. Houdini has beaten WizKid by 7 racks to 4. How's the stream looking, Simon? 1080p, 60 frames per second. I hope it is. Looks good to me on this end. Well, this is an important visit for Tommy. He's got an open table. He's got no reason at all to mess this up. Yeah, I'm surprised it looks good. I just thought that it would be buffering all the time. Because pretty much all the streaming channels that you see, everybody's streaming in 720. Well, it should be straightforward now. Just to roll in the 8 and roll through far enough to leave that 9 ball comfortable angle into the left hand corner. So this to narrow it down again. Now, just take your time, that's the advice. Tommy Yu going to break off on rack number 10, desperate to get a ball in the break. He needs something. Well, the 4 balls get in, and he's even on the 1 ball as well. Now this is where you have to really focus and try and do something that you don't do an awful lot of, and that's break and run. But break and run when you most need it. Well, he's chosen to leave himself long and straight on this too. He's going to run into the 5 and 9 here if he's not too careful. And it's easy just to cut this to the left jaw. Well, in fact, he's actually got the room to go by. I didn't think he could. But no matter. He needs another good one to go on the 5 into the same pocket he's just potted the 2 in. And I think he's sitting pretty there as well. Although the angle's wrong. And now he's going to have to work this cue ball, and this is where things start getting out of line. He needs to get a good recovery shot. Oh dear. Well, what do you do now? Well, that's the best thing to do. Didn't get desperate, didn't try anything stupid. Just take your medicine and get a good safety. That's exactly how you should play the game. So Potman has kicked. He's left the 6 ball hanging. So here's Tommy's second chance. I don't think he's going to get another one. He's got to make the most of this. And he seems to be finding his weight a wee bit better now. He's warmed up. But he'll feel a lot better if he can get this match all square. Now the angle on that 8 is perfect. He can just roll it in. Cue ball's naturally going to finish to the right hand side of the 9. Just focus on the pot. You don't need to worry about the cue ball. And a little bounce would be handy. And he's staring down the barrel of a gun right into the pocket. So we're all square. And now we've got a match on. No joy. Well, Potman, I don't think there's any value in potting this 1 ball, because unless he drags it and holds it, there's no way he can get on the 2. So that he's had a slash there, and he should be in trouble. Likewise for Tommy. Let's have a look at what he's got. Well, he's played the right shot again. Plenty of balls to hide behind. And there's a possibility, a strong possibility for a 3 fouling out here. If Potman doesn't get this first one. There's lots of good cover there for snookers, but he's got the kick. See, there's still no value in potting the one unless you can make sure you're going to get on the two. Well, Potman can easily jump the 6. Didn't get the cue ball tight in behind the 6. Was he fluke to 6? Well, got the jump. I don't know whether he can. I don't think he can make the potting angle in that. Can't get past the 7 to hit the sweet spot of the 1. Well, he's played the cross bank. Now if the cue ball runs, he's going to have a shot in the 2. Now here's the important shot in the rack. Getting this 3 and getting that cue ball onto the 4. Oh dear. Well, out with the jump stick again. He needs to watch he doesn't bounce off the table. He's very close to the 4. Well, the mistake's been made. There you go. Tommy ready to pounce. Ball in hand. Is that a result I missed there? Houdini's beaten WizKid. Now I assume that's 7 racks to 4. I can't see it because my little timer's right in the middle of the bottom of the screen. Nice little bit of left hand spin. And he's controlled that shot well. Just took all the pace out the cue ball just to let it roll through a few inches. And I think he can draw back off the 8 if he wants to play the 9 into the same pocket. He might even run round the corner, I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, that's going to have to run. You've got to get there. Well, it's a little tester. This is where the old nerves can get the better of you. Well, there's a close match. DJ Simon has beaten Yazbar by 7 racks to 6, and Tommy Yu, I think for the first time in the match, goes into the lead. Now, something went in on the break, and what's more, the 9 ball's hanging over the top left-hand pocket, but he's got no shot at all in the 6, so probably best to play the push out and knock that 7 onto the 9 if we can, and get the 9 out the way and get it respotted. Well, that's a disaster. Well, it's a disaster from the point of view that he didn't get anything safe. the only thing that's good about it is that Potman can't, unless he tries to draw the cue ball onto the 9. I don't even know whether he's got the angle. Let's see what he does. No, he's made his mind up. He's going for the run out. He clearly didn't have the angle to draw into the 9, or he would have played it. So this is an all or nothing visit. Now he's pretty much straight in this 4 ball, and it's difficult to play a 5-9 combo. The 9 is blocking the pocket for the 5, so he's going to be hard pushed to get anything here. Now, is he going to play the billiard? Needs to watch the double kiss. You're going to catch the edge of that 5 and try and run the cue ball onto the 9. I'll get that better if I get it that way. If he gets it that way and just run the cue ball, he can even go off the rail and hit the 9. Well, he's played the 5 onto it. That was excellent, because the angle wasn't perfect to do that. So we're going all the way, folks. 6 racks all. Potman breaking off in the 13th and deciding rack. And I think that was a 3 ball went into the top right. Once again, we've got the danger ball sitting. 9 ball waiting to be nudged in from a fair few angles in the table. But there's an 8-9 there. It's a long way away from that though. The attempted bank by Potman. Well, this match could be over. That's why you don't play silly shots with a money ball hanging over a pocket. And Potman has been suckered here if Tommy just nudges this one onto the 9. And then it goes. So bad choice of shot there by Potman, and it's cost him. And Tommy Yu, trailing all through the match, has won it by 7 racks to 6. So there's a fair few results come in while we've been watching this match. This match has been on for, excuse me, just nudging 50 minutes. So let's have a look at the bracket. We'll see that Houdini is already playing Gunnett in the round 2 match. Gunnett getting the 8 ball, and Gunnett's up 5-1. And Larry is about to play Tommy Yu. And that's the match we're going to watch. Arathus is playing Yasbar. I think that's his Yasbar. Oh, did I say you won, Simon, in the first round? I didn't realise you lost. In a final rack decider, yes, you did. Oh, mind you, that you were given 6 and out. That's a hefty handicap. I think I called that wrong. Anyway, Larry is playing Tommy Yu. Tommy Yu's getting 7 and out. And let's see how he handles the handicap. He's getting a good enough handicap to be competitive. Oh dear. Well, that doesn't look good. That's not promising. That was a weak shot. I don't know what Tommy Yu was trying there, whether he was trying to nudge that 1 ball along the rail near the 8 and try and use the 8 as a blocker, but he was way short on it. And I've spoken about this before, about Tommy getting a bit nervous, especially when he comes up against guys like Larry, and He needs to get that out of his head. He needs to realise that Larry's under more pressure than he is, because he's more than expected to win. And if you just keep your head together and just play the table instead of playing the player, then you might get on a lot better. But that first shot that we seen there when we came in the room, that is not a good sign after doing so well to get back into that first match and winning it. Well, it's no disgrace losing 7-6 when you're giving 6 and out to some guy. Anyway, Larry's off and running. A free visit he got there after that effort by Tommy Yu. Now Larry's got a dry break. Now here is the perfect opportunity to make up for that hash of a shot in the first rack. You've got an open table, all the balls there, and you're getting 7 and out. And already we've got a problem. He's getting to that too much. I'm sure he either wanted to play that into the top corner and get far enough over to the right, or he wanted to leave it into the right middle. So now we're out of line and we're looking for nasty little cuts. And he's got to get the pace of this right as well, just to hold himself on the 4. Well, what does he do? You can take a risk and go through and bring the cue ball back to try and find a gap, or you can leave it long. Now it has to be, if he can squeeze past the 7, the 8, and I think he's got enough angle there. Well, he's got lucky, got a little double kiss in the 7, that's all that he needs. He couldn't draw past the 7, but he'll take that. Oh, he's gone short again, I think. Well, mind you, what I've forgotten again, haven't I? I forget every bloody week. I forgot about the handicap. I get so excited watching for these positional shots in the last few balls. I just totally lose it and forget about the handicap. So it's 1-1. Oh dear. It's guaranteed I do it every single week, and I do it more than once. Well, Larry looking to just hide behind that little bunch of balls, and he's played that perfect. Although there's enough room to jump over this pack of balls. Now there's another result in. Gunnett has beaten Houdini by 7 racks to 2. Well, no great damage done, because although Larry's got the 1 and the 2 ball, he's going to have to do something to break out the 3 and the 7 and the 9 that are sitting there messed up. So no alarm bells yet in this rack for Tommy Yu, but there's a chance here. If Larry can get the right side of this 2, he needs to get the bottom side of the 2. Well, what's he doing now? Larry is going all around the angles. How's his luck? Well, nothing doing. There's another result in from the 1 lost side. Wizard Cheat has beaten WizKid by 4 racks to 2. And Larry probably just punch this 3-ball up the table and try and draw in behind. And that's a better one because he's got it tighter to the 8. And I think it's just the kick that's on. And that was a good one. That changes things slightly. The 8's now tucked up with the 9, but the 7's now open. How does that 8 look? Well, the 8 goes. And if you get the right side of the 7 certainly goes. But it's possibly going to have to be a 5-6 combo for someone. And Larry's just got the weight a bit too strong. And this time I'm remembering that Tommy's got 7 and out. Oh dear, that's going to end up in trouble. An easy kick though. Now this is where you have to use your head here. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. I didn't think you could get that. I was going to say don't have a bash at it and then split up these balls. Oh, has he got that cover as well? No, he hasn't. And if Larry can get right round to this right hand side of the table, he can certainly come off the 6 and play onto the 7. He's going to have to do that at distance. And this is going to be a judgment of cue ball control. To try and judge the draw to come back. He might play the 7 in the middle. Let's have a look at that option. No, that's not good. And he's actually played that pretty damn good. Now if he can avoid hitting the 8, because he doesn't need to touch the 8, the 8 goes. I think that's maybe what he's worried about. Playing the draw. And he's got the cue ball out far enough. And the 8, plenty of room past the 9. And that was because Tommy didn't get the cover in the 5-ball, left the 5-ball on the top rail, left Larry a sighter on it, and this is the result. So Larry's back into the lead. That a new headset. No, this headset's this is about my 4th set of what do you call it? Turtle Beach headphones. The reason they're blue is they're actually PS4 Turtle Beach headphones, PS60. They work for PS4 and the PlayStation. Sorry, PS4 and the PC. I'm sure I'm on my 4th set. All the other 3, eventually the ears have broken. The earpieces have snapped on them. Not because they just snap, but because I've either stood on them, stood up and stood in the cable when I've stood up. All sorts of way to snap your headset. Well, it's now 3-1 to Larry. A quick rack there. And Larry's going to scratch. Now, what have we got here? Ball in hand. No problem with the 1, the 2 and the 3. 4 balls in the open next to the 9 ball. Let's see what Tommy can do. Well, he's straight in a 3, so it's going to be a draw. Well, that was more of a stopper than a draw. He's leaning himself at distance again. And now he's out of line. And this has got to go in or go safe. If it stays in the open, Larry will eat it up. And Tommy needs another good one. If he's going to play the cut. Cue ball's running away up the top left-hand corner. He looks as if he's playing this with a lot of inside English to try and check the cue ball. Well, that's not a bad effort. He still needs another good shot. Just one good shot in this 7, and he's got a rack back. Oh dear, where's the cue ball going? Oh, it's always going to happen, isn't it? You've got to play those a bit more gentle when you know the cue ball's likely to track up to the pocket. And that's a chance gone. Well, this isn't a gimme. What did I have from the... Oh, well, there you go. Larry's made the mistake. And Tommy's got a thin one. Just get your head down. Pick the hit point in that 9 and just hit it. I had... what did I have? Oh dear. Well, what's the cue ball going to do here? Well, that's probably the best outcome. Well, Larry's going to have to belt this to try and cut it in. I had sweet and sour chicken balls. Oh, that's an excellent shot. I'll tell you something though, these chickens have some size of balls on them. They were like that. That's how big they were. And there was about 8 of them. And I could only eat 6. Mind you, before that I had 2 rather large pancake rolls. Well, that was an excellent cut by Larry along that top rail. And it's 4-1. And Tommy's had his chance there. What did you have, Simon? Oh, Aga had the sweet and sour chicken. Oh, you go for the really... You go for the real cultural end of the Chinese takeaway market. Chicken curry and chips. You know what I've had the last few weeks? I've had various different kinds of egg foo young. I had ham foo young the other week. I had chicken foo young a couple of weeks. And I get that with fried rice. But what I also get is I get a tub of curry sauce, and I put the curry sauce all over my egg foo young and the rice. That's lovely. That goes down a treat. See, special fried rice is fine, but you need something on that because it's too dry unless it comes with a gravy in it. You need to have, if I ever get special fried rice, I always get curry sauce. Because, I mean, a lot of the time though, when you get a special fried rice, the char siu, the chicken and the beef, I've got a gravy on them, and then that lies in the bottom of your plate when you tip it in the plate. So I always get curry sauce anyway. So Tommy, I don't know what the hell happened here, but he got one back. He's trailing 4-2. I'm too busy talking about food. Once you get me talking about food, I could be here all night. So, ball in hand for Larry. The 3 balls sort of semi-hidden behind the 6, so he's got a bit of manoeuvring to get done here. Could actually run the cue ball down to the 6 and 3 here and still be on the 2. That's what he's tried. And, well, he's not really improved it that much. Well, I don't know how Larry sees it. Sometimes he sees him far different from how I see him, but he's straight. And I was thinking he might try and get the gap. He's got the gap to get the pot. Now, can he avoid hitting traffic here to get back up there for the 4 ball? He certainly can. I think he's okay. Yep, we can just drop onto the 5. Yeah, it comes with gravy. Well, this is a bit straight. Larry might just roll through and leave the 6 into the left middle. I don't know how much he wants to be working the cue ball here. But if he plays the 6 into the left middle, he can get the cue ball up towards the 7. I think he's maybe left that a wee bit short. He has, so he's now going the wrong way from this 6 ball. So if he's going to pot the 6, he can either try it gentle, or he can rend the cue ball there, there and there to play the 7 that way. He's played it with right hand English to do the same thing, but that's why he's missed the 6. So, well, it's a bit of a chance for Tommy, but he's going to have to get this cue ball up the table one way or another, and he's checked it and he's used the 9. That's an excellent controlled shot. Well, now he's just trailing by 1. The 2 balls gone in, the 6 has gone in, I think the 4's gone in, and he's got a shot in the 1. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Well, rest assured Larry's going to slam this 3 ball in and try and draw into those balls. But he's going to need a bit of luck. He's looking at the 5 to see where it goes. But he's given up that idea and playing the 3-9. And he's missed it. Well, now, we could have a bit more interest in this match if Tommy can get this right. And that's a good shot. That cue ball is stuck to the 5. If this was... well, it's not quite stuck, but it certainly prevents any jump shot. And Larry's missed the kick. Now, Tommy, what do you do? Do you pot the 3 and get the angle to smack into those? Or do you play the 3-9? Well, I think he's made his mind up. So Larry's had a go at the 9. Tommy's going to have a go. This to tie the match. And in it goes. So we're in business. Things are hottening up now. And the 4 ball has gone in. Where's the cue ball? It's in the middle of the table. No shot in the 1. Oh, Tommy, you're struggling to get good safeties, I think, is he? Oh, he's just made it. I thought he was short there. I was panicking. Well, Larry's got the jump. He's got no shot in the 2, though. That was more of a rescue mission there, just to make sure he got the 1. Now, Larry didn't play the pot. I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he went for cover. Well, that's easy enough to kick in. You've got to spin this a bit. Oh, where's that cue ball going now? Oh. Well, 3 ball goes in past the 5. And if he can actually run into the 9, or maybe draw off the 3. Oh, why didn't you just draw off it? That's probably the worst place you could leave the cue ball. It's neither here nor there. Well, that's made Larry's mind up. He's going to try and cut that 5. This is where the cue ball's going to go there and there. It's probably going to have to be the short side of the 6 for the 6 in there. Oh, well, I don't know whether he must have can see a lot more because he actually checked that up. But he's finished straight again. He's going to have to force an angle here. And he's managed that. Oh, it's one of these little cutbacks. They're always nasty. And he's got to run the cue ball out to get on this 8. And he's managed that. And should be fairly easy enough to pick his pocket for the 9 ball. Can either play it in the left middle or leave it long, whatever he's happy with. He's playing the middle. Oh, I've had a chest infection the last couple of weeks. Oh, yeah. It started, I think, I'm sure it was, see, tomorrow will be the 3rd week, and 3 weeks ago on the Saturday night I started feeling a bit rough, and when I got up at 4 o'clock on the Sunday morning to go to work I felt a lot rougher, so I didn't go in, and in fact from the Saturday through to the Sunday morning I filled myself full of what do you call it, not lime sips, I can't remember what you call them, but anyway, I almost OD'd in them to try and stifle it. And I actually had a day off on the Sunday. I took the day off, I phoned in sick. I went in on the Monday and it didn't actually fully hit me till the Tuesday and the Wednesday. I felt even worse. And then after that, it went to my chest, and I've been slowly recovering the last couple of weeks. Well, Tommy, you combos a 9. We're back all square. 5 racks all. And in all the Friday night 9 balls that I've seen Tommy playing, I've said that he's a bit nervy. And he's getting too nervy when he's playing guys like Larry. But he seems to be... well, he seems to be settled a wee bit more tonight. He's played a couple of duff shots, but... you know, who doesn't? But this would be a good result if we could fluke the 7, and Larry's fluked it. But if we could get a good run one week, it'll do him the power of good, give him a bit more confidence. Larry gone for the bank, got the cue ball over for the 3. And Larry just having a look around the table, which is the right thing to do, because it's very easy to forget about a ball. I've done that plenty of times, and it's always good to take your time and just look at what's left and get it into your head exactly what you're doing. And Larry shouldn't be doing that. Oh dear. Almost a scratch. He's a wee bit straight. He's just going to have to run this through with a bit of spin. Try and get the cue ball up the table a bit, or down the table as we look. He doesn't want to be playing this 8 ball from miles away. He wants to get nearer it. And that's better. Now it's easy just to drop the 8 in and come back off the bottom rail and up for the 9. Into the middle of the table. So Larry is going to get to the hill first. He just needs the 1 more. And he's going to be breaking off in rack number 12. Four ball goes in. However, we have a danger ball. 8 ball hanging over the pocket. Remember, Tommy's got 7 and out. The question is though, is Tommy going to get a shot in this rack? Oh dear, well that's now gone wrong. Now, that isn't a great bank, that 3 ball, so Larry's just trying to touch it along the rail. Now it's a better bank, it's off the rail. If Tommy wants to take the risk, and in it goes, but he's let the cue ball run. He could have avoided that, and that's Tommy's last shot in the match, I'm afraid. Provided Larry can get on the 7, which should be fairly straightforward enough for him. And there's another result came in. Jasbar has beaten Arathus by 7 racks to 4. And Larry can just spin out from the 8, take the 9 into the left middle, and Larry has beaten Tommy Yu by 7 racks to 5. So Tommy's going to get a second chance in the 1 lost side. And the bracket should be moving on quite a bit now. So we'll see that Larry's now going to be playing Gunnet. And meanwhile, if we move over to the 1 lost side, in fact, that Jasbar is getting 5 and out against Wink at Me, so he's going to have a tough ask there in that match. We've got DJ Simon about to play Arathus. No, sorry, he's about to play Tommy Yu, so that's the one lost side. So we'll go in and watch that match. Two players just about to lag off. And of course it's race to 4. And player 1 is DJ Simon, who's getting the 8 ball. Nothing doing. A chance of the 1 ball. And a chance to get the cue ball up for the 2. But he's scratched straight into the corner. So ball in hand. He's going to have to run into the 4. I don't know whether he had the angle to do it, but he's just going to have to play the safety. Tried a little billiard onto the 5. And this needs to go up to the top half of the table. It needs to get up there. And he's way short. And now the cue ball is going to have to run. And if he pots that, he needs to get up there somewhere. Well, he's stunned it. But he's leaving himself another one where he needs to control the pace here with this cut. And he's okay. So it is only a short race to 4, but it's certainly important who wins the first rack. And it looks like Tommy Yu is going to do it. So first rack to Tommy Yu. 6 ball goes into the top left. He's got a shot in the 1. The 2 will go past the 8. So just a little draw. Or a little stop shot in the 1 ball. The 3 ball goes no problem. The 4 goes into the middle. The 5 goes into the middle or wherever he wants it to go. So could see a run out here. Well, it's been a solid start here for Tommy Yu. He very quickly goes into a 2-rack lead. This time it's dry for Tommy, but a straight in 1 ball for DJ Simon, and he can cut the 2 onto the 7. But it's possibly going to be a 3-8 combo, provided he gets this 2 after the 7 ball. Now, what's he done? Well, it's going to be a long jump shot, Unless he wants to just swerve around the 6 and just try and cut the 2 in, but you don't know where the cue ball's going either way. Well, he could try the billiard off the 3 onto the 8. And he's tried it. And he needs a bit of luck. And he's not got it. And although the 3 straight, Tommy, you can squeeze a bit of an angle if he can. But he's a strong odds he's going to block himself off here with this 5 if he doesn't move the cue ball. Yep, that was always a problem. Dead straight and he couldn't really get into it. So just a kick, might even kick it in, which he has done. And he's running far enough to get the cut in the 5. Just let that one get away a bit. It's just one of these no man land shots. And he's overdone it and scratched. So here's a gift for DJ Simon. Just pot the 6. And then the 8, and he'll be on the board. Four ball went into the left middle. There's a shot in the 1 and he can drop onto that 2 ball which is hidden behind the 5. And he's nudged the 3 towards the corner as well. And the 8 and 9 are now split. Split a bit better than they were. And he's got to leave himself the angle to come off the 5 and, well, I think he can draw up the rail. Let's have a look. Yep, just don't scratch. Oh dear. Well, many times have we seen that. So from getting that gift of a rack in rack number 3, it looks as if it's going to be given back to Tommy Yu. Here's one of these wee testers again. This to go 3-1 up. Oh dear. Well, here's another gift for DJ Simon. He's had 2 of them. Can he take his second one? And we are all square, 2 racks all. And you see that little bit of short positional play there by Tommy. It just puts that little doubt in his mind trying to cut that 9. And the 2 and the 3 ball have gone. And there's a shot in the 1. But the 4 ball is down at the bottom of the table here. Virtually impossible to get on it. Needs a thin edge of this 4. And the cue ball needs to keep going. Well, No doubt Tommy will jump the 8 and look to pot this 4. And there's a result come through. Wink at Me has beaten Yazbar by I don't know how many because I can't see the score. Oh, Yazbar's forfeited. Don't know whether he didn't turn up or he quit or whatever. Anyway, Simon has punched in the 4. Now, can he get good on this 6 without scratching? Come down on the short side. But that's pretty good. A comfortable little tuck along the rail. But he's still got to get the 7 and 8. Now, a little bit of right-hand English here to come back down this right-hand side of the table. And he's got the weight of that pretty good. So this 8 ball to go into the lead. And a 9. So DJ Simon needs 1 more and breaks off in rack number 6. And the 4 ball thought about going in, but it's hanging up over the top right hand corner. But Tommy Hughes got no shot. Now that is not a good push out. That is not a good push out. No thought involved in that whatsoever. And that really honestly deserves to be punished. I say it week after week with push outs. You've got to get your head together when you play a push out. Well, Simon's got an awkward cut into the middle, but it will go. It's just a delicate little touch. And he's played it well. And this is where you need a wee bit of luck just to avoid the 8 and the 9 ball to get on the 5. And I think he's okay, is he? Well, the little nudge has actually done him a favour there. But how can he get on this 6? He can just draw into that area, that's fine. And then he'll leave the 7 into the middle, maybe. No, same pocket. Of course, it's a lot easier for the player because they're looking down the cue at the angle. I'm sitting here looking at it from one angle. It's difficult to judge. But DJ Simon, well, if Tommy Yu wants a lesson, he needs to watch that last rack there, because that push out was a poor, well, it wasn't even thought out. And DJ Simon done the correct thing. If you make such a poor push out, then your opponent gets in and runs out the rack, then you deserve to lose that one, Tommy. DJ Simon wins the match 4 racks to 2. Tommy Yu's participation in this week's tourney is over. But I need to impart some of my tactical genius to Tommy Yu about his push-outs. Definitely. Anyway, let's have a look at what's happening here. We've got Larry playing Gunnet. And I can't see the bloody score from some stupid person's names in front of it. But Larry's got 3 racks, I know that. Wink at Me got a forfeit in his last match, so he's through to play the winner of that match. Meanwhile, there'll be nothing much happening on the one loss side. We've got Popman playing Arathus, and Arathus is getting the 7 ball, and he's currently up 2-1 against Popman. DJ Simon is about to play Houdini. So I think what we'll do is we'll see that Gunnet is now trailing 4-2 to Larry, but Gunnet's getting 5 and out. Let's drop back in that match. Larry, of course, the strong favourite, probably along with Wink at Me, I think, to win this tourney. But you know what happens with 5 and out, anything can happen. So Larry is going to go 5-2 up. Well, nothing going in there. So Larry just played the push. Now, well, I think well, Gunnett's playing the kick at the 1 and he's potted it. I thought he might have passed it back to Larry because he's got himself in trouble here. That 5 just nudged its way down and blocked off the 2. Easy kick though, but he needs to get lucky. And he's left the 2 on. The 4 and the 8 are tied up there, so that's a problem to be dealt with. I don't know whether Larry tried to nudge the 8 and the 4 there. We'll never know. But he's on the 3. How does he do? How does he play this to get on the 4? Well, that's a great effort. He can actually cut it. It goes past the 8 into this corner. Probably nudge into the 6 here in the process. Oh, he's missed that. Well, no prizes for guessing what he's playing here. Well, there's the mistake. He's missed the combo, and Gunnett has this 5 ball to narrow the gap. Where's the cue ball going? I think he's okay. So he's trailing by 2. He's breaking off in rack number 9. Six ball has gone in. 4 balls went in. What else went in? I thought something else went there. Well, of course, the 6 and the 8 went in, but they're both money balls, so they get respotted. And straight away, he's thinned off the 1 and scratched the cue ball. And the only saving grace is the fact that the 6 and the 8 are tied up in the middle of the table. Larry just tying the cue ball up behind the 9. Well, that's an easy enough kick to hit the 1. And that's actually quite a good shot. use the 6 and the 8 as blockers, and they could well split here if Larry doesn't hit this right. Well, he's nudged the 1 into the 6 and the 8, so that's now opened the game up, which certainly favours Larry. And Gunnett is going to be in trouble again, probably behind that 6 and 8. Well, that was not the best safety shot Larry's ever played in his life. Gunnett just needs to pot the 2, leave himself on the 3. You don't need to start running the cue ball and doing anything crazy here. Oh dear. Well, that was poor. Wasn't a difficult 2 ball, but I think he took his eye off the ball there thinking about the 3. So remember, that 6 and 8 gets split by Larry with a 1 ball earlier in the rack, and that's now going to help him a lot. Although this position he's got in the 5 ball here, he might have to just try and drop this in dead to leave the 6 into the right middle. He's tried to kill the pace in the cue ball. The 6 doesn't go past the 7. So now what does Larry do? Because Larry's now at the money ball end of the rack, and one mistake if he leaves the 6 on, and it's another rack for Gunnett. He's looking for it in the left middle. Oh, where's the cue ball going? Oh, there you go. There's your gift. So Gunnett is just going to be trailing by 1. Now 3 ball into the left middle there. 4 and 8 ball tied up at the top end of the table. Well, what does he do? Try and pot the 2? Well, there's still a mess up at the top end. 4 still stuck by the 7 this time. And that's the next ball on, so it's more than likely, if Larry pots the 2, that he's going to be playing the... Well, he's decided against that because he couldn't get on the 4. He's decided just to play the safety. Larry looking to hide the cue ball. It's just found a gap, but still no damage done. He's left the 2 ball, but the only value in potting the 2 is that you get to play a half decent safety on this 4 ball. Well, the shot to play is thin edge of the 4, lots of right English. The cue ball down to here. He's went for a bank. Not the wisest choices of shots there, I'm afraid. Because that's just an open invitation for Larry. Which is not what you want to be doing. You don't want to have that sort of tactic, and you've just got yourself back to trailing by 1 rack. Well, it's possibly going to be a 7-9 combo. And Larry's gone a bit too far in the 6. So now he's going to try and have to nudge into the 9 and maybe hold for the 7-8 combo. She's just gone out of line. It's not over yet. He's nudged into the 9, used it, played it well, and now he's got the 7 onto the 8. And it's rack over, I'm afraid, for Gunnett. A poorly chosen shot there on the 4 ball when he should have played the safety and kept it at distance, and he chose to go for a wild bank when the table wasn't set for any sort of run out, and left all the work for Larry to do, and Larry done it, and Larry's now sitting 6-4. Dry break this time. Well, that could possibly be Gunnett's last shot. Larry's got the 2 into the middle. I think it goes past the 3. Or does it? Oh no, it doesn't. Well, there you go. I think he can maybe see enough of it to try and cut it down the rail though, can he? Shouldn't find out. Oh, obviously not. Larry just keeping it safe. Let's have a quick look at the bracket and see what's happening in this one lost side. And DJ Simon's currently 2-all with Houdini, and Houdini is getting a 7 ball. Well, this time the 2 is sitting wide open. And Larry looking to finish this match off. Oh dear, what's he done? Has he got there? Yes, he has. Thought he'd left it short. And Arathus has beaten Potman by 4 racks to 3. Now that's a player I've never seen play, so maybe need to take a look at this chap, find out where he's from. Meanwhile, Larry's on the 6 ball, needs to get up the table, which he has done. And a simple enough 7, an even simpler 8, as long as he gets the cue ball off the side rail and out. Well, I think he can just drop onto the bottom rail and back up for the 9. So Larry has beaten Gunnett by 7 racks to 4. And now we'll have a quick look and see how things shape up. Well, that result from Arathus. Now, who the hell was he playing? Potman, forgot about that. And Arathus is now going to be playing Wizard Cheat. And we're going to have to drop in quickly and see this one lost side match with DJ Simon. And the match is over. I just joined it at the wrong time. I don't know what happened, but Houdini has beaten DJ Simon by 4 racks to 2, and Houdini was getting a 7 ball. So the tournament is about an hour and 50 minutes old, and we're moving along fairly swiftly. So Wizard Cheat is getting 7 and out against Arathus. Meanwhile, Larry is about to play Wink at Me to decide who gets the hot seat in the final. But I think we're going to nip in and have a quick look at this Arathus chap. Let's find out where he's from. He's from Finland. Wizard Cheat from Paraguay. So we've got South America versus Northern Europe. And Wizard Cheat, getting 7 and out, has immediately scratched off the 1. Let's see what this Arathus chap is like. Well, he's leaving himself the bank in the 4. And he can just drop that 5 in, dead weight, and hold for the 6. Now, what does he do about the 7? Does he just go out into the middle of the table and play a long 7-8 combo? Or does he try and get right around behind it for into either of these middle pockets or that any of the 2 top pockets there as we look? Well, there he's made his decision. It's going to be the 7-8 combo. And of course, this is a danger point because Wizard Cheat is getting 7 and out. And he's miles off with that one, and that's an easy starter. This is the sort of gifts that you will give an opponent when you're given money ball handicaps. Wizard Cheat just needs to drop the 7 ball in, and he's off and running. He did have a chance to get that cue ball round the table and try and get in behind the 7. There wasn't a lot of room to work with, but when you get yourself a long combo shot like that, you've got to line it up. And he was well off the mark. And that's the sort of gifts you just want to avoid giving opponents. Well, he's got a chance to make up for it straight away. And he's got the little angle in the 3 ball. Can drop that cue ball over to the right middle pocket if he wants. Well, maybe he wasn't confident enough to play it. He could have played that with a bit of spin. He's leaving himself really awkward shots here now. You don't want a 4-ball like this. Danger of scratching in the top right pocket here. Well, at least Wizard Cheat is going to have to pot some balls here to actually win a rack. The 4-ball goes. He's got a cut in the 5, but the 6 ball's at the wrong end of the table for him. When he's fluked to 7, oh dear, that is a dagger to the heart, that one. That is painful. Oh, after having missed that combo, and then Wizard Cheat flukes the 7. And that's the ones that hurt. It's so frustrating. It's so annoying. Almost banked the 3. Well, Arathus is a toughie here. 3-ball deep in the pocket. Got to somehow get that cue ball moving. And it's not easy to do. It's very easy to put too much spin on this and the cue ball doesn't move. And he's controlled that well. Is he going to get there though? Oh, that's a great effort. Well, he's probably worth spinning around the 6. A little bit of a massy. Can he see enough of that 5 to pot it? Oh, I'm not convinced. No. Well, it's gone almost safe. The reverse bank. And look where the 7 balls ended up. It's over the middle pocket. Got to be careful if he's drawn this as well. Well, he's nudged into the 7. That's actually helped him. He's got a cut in the 6. And he can drop down. If he avoids the 8, he can drop down on the right hand side here for this 7 ball into that top right where the 6 ball's getting played right now. And he's nudged to 8 and it's bounced off the rail. So this is where the pressure's on. He can't afford a mistake because Wizard Cheat just needs one of these balls for another rack, and it's only a short race to 4, remember. Now, this can go wrong if you try and go around behind the 9. He's playing it with right side English to try and check the cue ball and prevent that. And that's killed the cue ball and kept the line from going behind the 9. He played it well. So Arathus, after that shaky start and that bit of good fortune for Wizard Cheat, has got 1 on the board. He's still trailing by 1. And now a couple of balls have gone in, but I'm afraid one of them was the cue ball. And the 2 ball and the 7 have gone. The Wizard Cheat has a shot in the 1. Right, Simon, see you later. Thanks for watching. And I don't know, when did you say that? When did you type that? 9:50, 9:59. You're probably going to bed. Well, here we go. Wizard Cheat's got himself in the 5. just needs the 5, the 6, and then the 8 to go 3-1 up. Well, this is one that he's actually worked for. And he slams the 8 in. That was well done for a change. You can actually see him pot some balls. So he can pot them when he wants. Nine ball. The 9 ball is hanging over the pocket, and Arathus needs to get behind that 2 ball if he pots the 1. Do whatever he can to get behind the 2. Well, he's not done it, and I'm afraid he could be in trouble here because he's hooked himself. And what you should do is pot the 9. You need to pot the 9. You've got to give the deliberate foul. The 5 and the 4 are tied up. Well, he's hit the 2. Now, if Arathus hasn't seen Wizard cheat before, he needs to get rid of that 9 ball as soon as he can, because Wizard cheat's going to do whatever he can to get near it. And he might live to regret it the longer that 9 ball sits over the pocket. This needs to go. And Arathus, if he's going to break these balls out, it's going to help his situation. But if he gets the cue ball in the wrong position, well, the 2 ball cuts, and if Wizard Cheat gets the cue ball over to the right hand side, which he can do if he plays this at the right pace, it'll be a 3-9 combo for the match. Well, I said it and I'll say it again. You have to deal with the danger balls when you're giving these money balls away. And Arathus never did it, and he should have, and that's why he's lost. So, a poor choice of shots there by Arathus. And you live and learn. Wizard Cheat's beaten him by 4 racks to 1. The alarm bell should always start ringing when you're given money balls and the danger balls start hanging over pockets. So anyway, in the meantime, Larry is playing Wink at Me for the hot seat, and Wink at Me is getting the 5 ball, and Larry's currently up by 3 racks to 1. Wizard Cheat is now about to play Gun It, and the winner of that match will play Houdini. So we might as well move in and have a look at Larry against Wink at Me. Well, that was a great shot. A great jump bank on the 2. And Larry liked that one. And Wink at Me battling to get himself back into this match early on here, trailing 3-1. So he just needs the 4 and then the 5 ball. That is a good money ball handicap for Wink at Me, because he can pop balls. And Larry's well aware of that. It's a fair handicap to be given away, and the 9 ball's going to go in. That'll get respotted. No, it's not. Well, we're in the same position again here. We've got the danger ball over the pocket. Wink at Me's going to have a blast at the 2. Oh, the 1, sorry. He's hooked on it. If he just nudges this 1 into the middle of the table, Larry will probably play the combo. Well, he's trying to jump over the edge of the 2. Can he do it? It's a bit close. Well, that's a great jump again. Now what does Winkett Me do? Does he go for the thin cut, or does he go for the billiard off the 2 onto the 9? It looks like the thin cut. Could possibly be the bank. I think it's the cut though. Oh, he's missed it. Well, Larry's got the same problem. At this time though, it's a lot more difficult to try and cut that too. Larry might try and billiard off the 2 onto the 9. That looks more like the shot he's going to play. He can play a 2-in-1 shot. He can try and bank the 2 and try and nudge the 9 in. And he's missed it as well. Well, here's the third attempt. And it's a better billiard onto the 9 off the 2 in this angle. Now, what's he got in mind? Is he playing... I think he's playing the cut this time. A lot of draw on it to avoid scratching. And he's missed it again. Oh dear. Oh well, now that could be fatal. He's left the 2 on. And Larry should be meat and drink for him this lot. Well, if Larry wants to save himself a bit of time, he can just drop the 3 in, but he's going to run out. He could have just played the 4 onto the 9, saved a bit of time. I think they had about 3 or 4 attempts to try and pot that 9 ball, but couldn't. And that's a nicely weighted shot. Perfect in the 7. So Larry is opening the gap again. And he now leads by 4 racks to 2. That's come up dry. Well, this is a nasty cut down the rail. He's played it another good shot. How's his luck getting on this 2 ball though? I think he's just going to try and make the angle going around the 8. That's actually a good guide. Oh, where's the 6 ball going? Well, that's done him a favour. Now, reverse bank on the 2. I don't think he can cut that thin enough. And he's played that one well. You don't want to play the banks too firm. You've got to let the ball take the bounce off the rail and make the angle. So here's the important one for Winkett Me. Remember, he's getting a 5 ball. So he just needs to pot this 4, get the cue ball up the table. So he's going to round the angles. 3 rails. 1, 2, and he needs to keep going. It needs to go beyond that 8 ball. And he's just made it. Oh dear, now that was a bit nervy. That was a bit tweaky. I don't think Larry can jump that because I think the 8 ball's too far away. So Larry's going to do a bit of swerving. Oh, he didn't get into it enough. The spin on the ball didn't take until it was past the 5 ball. So there's a gift. Ball in hand. Just drop the 5 in, and Winkett Me is back to trailing by just a 1. 6 ball goes into the bottom left. 1 ball's in the right hand rail. Cue ball's in the top rail, but he's got a shot on it, and the 2 ball, the cue ball's in the top rail, the 2 balls over on the left hand side. This is a great chance to tie the match. All the balls are wide open. Got to avoid the 5. Oh dear, has he got there? Has he got there? Yes, I think he has. Just and no more. Oh no, 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 oh dear. Well, that was a cast iron rack on the scoreboard there for Wink at Me, and the only thing that was going to do him was a scratch. And you ever get the feeling that Wink at Me's just going to be chasing Larry and trying to catch his coattails, but never getting there in this match by the look of it. Simple 8, just drop it in and then drop the 9 in. So Larry is going to open the gap again to 5 racks to 3. Remember, this is to see who gets in tonight's final. That 2 balls very close to the rail. It's a thin one, but the cue ball's going to be going across the table, and he's looking for the gap. The gap is there between the 4 and the 6. Well, he's managed to find his way and avoid hitting any of them, and found the bottom side of the 3. Now, can he nudge into the 6 and hold for this 4? No, he can't. So he's having to work here. Once again, though, he's got this thin cut in the 4, and the cue ball, provided it avoids hitting the 8, has got to go up the top end towards the 5. Pressure shot, though, when you're trailing 5-3. And that was always going to be the problem, and what's more, he's hooked himself. And looking at these balls, Wink at Me knows that he just simply has to get lucky. And he's hit the 7. And Larry's coming to the table, ball in hand. It should be another rack for Larry, I'm afraid. As far as Wink at Me's concerned, he's just not getting that little rub of the green that he needs. And a quick reminder, we're going to be able to go all the way tonight. The tournament's been on for 2¼ hours, but we're going to go all the way at the final. Because I've still got no work to go to tomorrow, thank goodness. I can stay up to all hours of the night. And Larry's just dropped in behind the 8, simple enough. So Larry's opened the gap to 3 racks. And Wink at Me is at the point of no return. So Larry breaking off in rack number 10. Nothing gone. One ball's gone safe. Possible chance of a 1-8 billiard into the top right hand corner. Hit the 1 ball, cue ball onto the 8 ball, nudge the 8 in. That's what he tried. Nothing doing. Let's go up to the top end and we'll look and see what Larry sees. Well, Larry can pot the 1 down the rail, get the cue ball out into the table so he can make the cut in the 2. He's actually trying the little drawback. As he got there, he's almost there. Well, this shot here, I think will decide the match, because if Larry can get this 3 ball in and get the cue ball onto the 4, then he should be more or less home and dry. And he'll be looking to get fairly close to that right hand rail up by the middle pocket to pop that 5 ball down the rail. Needs to leave a little angle if he can, just to get the cue ball out. Well, I think he's just got the angle, and he's got to hit this a wee stab to get the cue ball out, and he's done that. 7 ball isn't a problem, 8 ball's no problem, and the 9 ball's waiting there as well. So this match is over, barring a total disaster from Larry. Now, I would tend to dig down on this 7 ball just to bring the cue ball away and prevent it going anywhere near the 8. That's what Larry's doing. Just drawing it away. Now he's underhit that. How does that look? Well, that is a bit tweaky. It is very thin. He might reverse bank this into the right hand corner as we look. That's the shot he's playing, I think. I don't think he can play the cut. And it's hung up in the jaw. So the match isn't over. And that was just going beyond that 8 ball. So I'm a bit premature calling the result, but can Wink at Me get this 8 ball? Oh, he's overdone it. And has he got lucky? Yes, he has. He's still hanging on by 1 fingernail here. And Larry needs to watch the scratch. And surely this time, that double kiss has not helped Larry at all. Surely this time Wink at Me will take it out. Yes, he will. Stranger things happen in 9 ball. The match should have been all over. Larry had the shot in mind that I had about avoiding running the cue ball into the 8, but he hit it so soft he died on the rail and went behind the 7 ball. And Wink at Me straight away has scratched on his break. Still trailing by 2, and Larry's got ball in hand. Now, will Larry finish the job this time? I think he's just running through to play this 3 down the rail. And he's got the nice little angle you need just to pop the 3 down the rail and get the cue ball over to the right. And this will be simple enough. He'll just drop the 4 in, roll the 5 across into the left middle. And likewise with the 5 ball, just roll the cue ball through. And the 7 ball probably going into this right middle pocket after he plays the 6. And Larry will roll the 7 in. And roll across the 9 down the rail. So the match should, I say should this time, I'm covering my back this time. It should be over. Oh, Larry, he went to the far jaw. It thought about staying out. So this time Larry definitely has won the match, and he's won it by 7 racks to 4. So Larry's in tonight's final. Wink at Me moves over to the 1 lost side. And let's see what's happening there. Well, Wizard Cheat is currently trailing by 3 racks to 2 against Gunnet. Larry is in the hot seat, and now Larry can go and get a cup of coffee or something stronger if he wants. He's going to have a little while to wait. He can have a little rest, and Wink at Me also can have a little rest because he's waiting on the winner of the Houdini Wizard Cheat match, and Wizard Cheat has just beaten Gunnet by 4 racks to 3, and he's about to play Houdini, so probably maybe could be a possible 15-minute break for Wink at Me, and Larry probably half an hour before he hits another ball. And in the meantime, Wizard Cheat and Houdini are about to play, so we will join that match. Now, I'm looking in the chat and I do not see Houdini. I don't see him there at all. Wizard Cheat is certainly there, but nope, Houdini's definitely not there. Maybe he's gone, maybe he's rebooting his computer, or maybe he's called it a day. Wizard Cheat apologising again. Looks as if he's fluked a winner in that match in the final rack decider. So, well, unless Houdini appears, Wizard Cheat is going to get a forfeit bye. Yeah, it looks like Houdini's gone. And there'll be nothing on until that match forfeits. Oh, right, Houdini's arrived. Right, so we may well still have a match on. There we go. 2 players about to lag off. We're playing a race to 4 in the 1 lost side. And player 1, who's Wizard Cheat, is getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. Now, if that was Houdini that lagged on the left-hand side, that's an excellent lag. It certainly was. Houdini has the break. I'll get my plug in. what still puzzles me is why Wizard Cheat tries to be spectacular with banging these balls when he can just pot a ball and get on the 2 ball. That's the way he wants to play it. A nice little nudge on the 4 there. The 3 ball goes past the 4. Plenty of room. However, Wizard Cheat's money ball has already gone, so he's going to have to pot all of the balls to win the rack, same as Houdini. Now he's played a nice cut in the 6. Oh, he's stone dead against the 7 though. But he can play a little punch in the 7, get it up the table and try and leave the cue ball behind the 8. But he doesn't look as if he's doing that. He's getting wild again. And Houdini has a thin cut. Not easy to get on the 8 ball with this one. He's going to have to leave the bank, I think. Yeah, he can play the bank with a bit of left English, try and get the cue ball sent up the table towards the 9. That's what he's tried. Actually finished perfect in the 9, and he's got it more or less safe. Wizard Cheat can cross double this 8 ball. That's what he tried, thumped at it again, but this time Houdini has a better shot in the 8 ball. I don't know whether he can draw off it and hold for the 9 or whether he has to run up the table. Let's have a look. Well, I think he'd be safer to run up the table and come back down for the 9. Oh dear, he's got that wrong. He stunned it. He stunned it when he should have been running it. And now he's got a cut or a bank. Well, he went for the cut, he's missed it, and he's hung up the 9. So Wizard Cheat is going to go into the lead. Oh, here we go. The old brain is going now. Mother Nature's kicked in. The body clock's saying I should be in bed. Well, Wizard Cheat's come up dry, I think. Now, is this Houdini's first shot? Is he playing a push out or what? I'm losing track altogether. Well, he's scratched anyway, so here's the 1-9 combo from Wizard Cheat, I would assume. And in goes the 9. And it's 2-0. And look at the 9 ball. Well, the 9 ball's going to be respotted. Because that 1 ball would have been popped right onto the 9 had it been left hanging. And luckily for Houdini, it dropped. That could have been an extremely quick second and third rack there. And that nudge in the 2 has helped it along to the pocket. bank on the 3. Cue ball rolling around onto the 4. Now a gentle 4 leaves you the 5 into the left middle, but that's never guaranteed here. But lo and behold, he's played it. And he's under hit the 5 because the cue ball never got to the 6, but he's missed the 5 anyway. So Houdini has to do an escape act here, live up to his name again to get into this match. And he too didn't get into it enough, and he's hooked himself in the 6. And he's kicked the 6 in. Oh, he needed that, but he didn't need that kiss in the 8. This is a tester. Needs to watch the scratch in the middle. He's avoided that, and that needs to bounce. Well, take your pick. You've got an awkward cut into the middle, you've got an awkward cut into the corner, or you've got a bank. He's played the cut, and in it goes. It just gets there off the jaw. That was an excellent cut. So Houdini trailing by just the 1. 5 ball has gone in. And how's his luck? Well, he's on the 1. He's got an angle to get up for the 2. The 3 ball is there. Everything's in the open. How does Houdini hold himself together here? Let's see. Well, he's nudged the 7 in, but he's hit that far too hard. And he's scratched. Oh dear, well, Houdini, here's your second go. A bad one there by Wizard Cheat. Well, this isn't a gimme. Got to go up and down the table off this 4. And it's, well, if it nudges into the 8, he's okay. But this is a tester as well. He's overdone it. Well, keep your eye in every pocket, because this 6 ball is going to get blasted. Well, you didn't blast it as hard. Oh, where's that 6 ball going? Oh. Well, this is your 3rd chance, Houdini. You've got to take it this time. Well, that's a delicate one. And it goes. So this to tie the match up at 2 racks all. Now what went in there? The 8 ball. Let's have a look at the 2-9. Well, that's not set, but the 2 does go into the opposite corner. Now, Houdini's got ball in hand. I don't think he's left himself much of an angle here. Is he trying to roll through for the 2 into the opposite middle? No, because it doesn't go past the 9, I don't think. So I don't know what he's thinking. Trying to make the combo. It was never on. Well, he's got safe, but he unless Wizard Cheat bangs into the 4 to move that 2 and 9, Houdini's going to have a 2-9 combo. Or at least he can see the edge of the 2. No, he can't see any of it, I don't think. Well, he's played the spin okay. Unfortunately, I think he's left a shot in the 2 though. Needs to bounce. That needed to go a good bit more for comfort. This is awkward. 5 balls, just a bit of a hindrance. And it's a thin cut in the 4. And he couldn't avoid the 8. But it's actually double kissed. And teed him up nicely for the 5. Oh, looks okay. I thought he was going to scratch there. Oh, he's got a nice angle on the 6. He's not. No, he's fine. Nice and gentle with this 6 ball. And make sure you go through with the cue ball here and get it up into the table. Leave yourself nice on the 9. Don't chicken out. Why is he playing the draw? Oh dear, that has got to be lack of knowledge. That was the worst way to play a positional shot in that 9. Absolutely no need for it. And now he had to play a thin cut. He's got it, but there is no way in this earth they should have ever been there with the cue ball. The 8 balls going into the middle. Houdini's got himself into the lead. The short race to 4, remember. And he's got a shot in the 1. Possible 2-9 combo coming up here. Nope. Wizard Cheat didn't fancy it. Banks the 2. Gonna have to play the thin cut in the 3. And he's going to just have an edge. A possible edge of the 4 showing. Let's have a look and see what he's got. No, he hasn't. Out with a jump stick. Gets the hit. And it's another little tester. That cut back into the middle pocket. Is he going for it into the top? He's going for it into the top pocket. That's a nice shot. And he's nice on the 5. That's better. That's a better played shot. Now this is similar to the other shot they had. He just needs to go through and come up the table, or he's leaving himself short again for some strange reason. That's just no way you should be playing the 7 ball from there. That really is puzzling. All he can do now is play a safety. Wizard Cheat looks as if he fancies the jump shot. He's thinking about it. I don't think he likes it. Well, out comes the jump stick. And he's landed on the 9. Now Houdini has ball in hand for the 7 ball. He's got the cue ball in the rail, so he's got the angle to get the cue ball out for the 9. And this match should be over. In goes the 9. Houdini wins the match. He beats Wizard Cheat by 4 racks to 2. Right. So the tournament moves on. The brackets will update in a second or two. And Wink at Me is going to be giving Wizard Cheat a hefty handicap in a race to 4 to see who gets into tonight's final to play Larry. I think they're lagging off at the moment. And Houdini's won the lag. And why did I say Wizard Cheat? Wizard Cheat get knocked out. Houdini's getting 7 and out. 3 ball has gone in. A delicate little soft draw off the 4 needed. Well, surely that was obvious. He was going to scratch at that angle. So Wink at Me, ball in hand. Nice little roll through, not too much. Oh dear, I think he's right on the knuckle. I think he's blocked himself out. Yes, he has. Oh, that double kiss came in handy. He'll be well pleased with that outcome. Oh, another scratch by Houdini. This time Wink at Me's got ball in hand again. And I think he should take care of business this time. Maybe nudge onto the 9 here. Oh dear. Oh, that was bad. He actually didn't he didn't stun it. He just rolled through. And he's hooked himself. And this is going badly wrong with ball in hand. He'll be kicking himself right now. Oh, that was a great shot. Well, that's a shot of the night. That is a shot of the night, that one. And he's on the 9. That was all or nothing on the 8 ball there. So Wink at Me eventually wins the first rack, but after getting himself in a hole there, he pulled out an absolute cracker to get that 8 ball and get on the 9, and look at what's happened here in the break. 9 balls hanging up over the pocket. He's got no shot to get to the 9, but he's going to have to be careful with this 1 ball. Cuts into the middle. Oh, that nudge in the 8 is just taking the pace off the cue ball. He's still okay though. Now, what does he do here? Does he try and get in behind the 4? He's going all around the table, and in goes the 9. There we go. That's one quick way of dealing with that problem. So all of a sudden, Wink at Me's 2-0 up. 7 goes into the left middle. He's got an edge of the 1 ball showing. Get the little plug in again. I need all the subscribers I can get. Back to the match. Wink at Me at the table. Well, he's just gone that bit too far. Could be a possible 5-9 combo. And he slams it in. And he's 3-0 up. So, this is to see who gets in tonight's final to play Larry. And I think it's a race to 9 in the final. Dry break for Wink at Me. Houdini plays the combo. He's still on the 1. And in the first 3 racks, Houdini's not had a sniff at any of his money balls. But he's got to hold himself together now. This could be his last visit at the table. Well, he's nowhere in the 5, but there is a possibility to try and squeeze that 5 past the 9. It's got to go to pocket weight though. Well, he's trying to play it in the middle. That's an excellent shot. He's going to need... Well, he's going to need something excellent here again. That's neither here nor there. And it's a good cut on the 6 and an even better nudge on the 7. So this for the rack to get on the board. And in it goes. That was well done, Houdini. Just exactly what you needed. And the 3 ball has gone in. No shot in the 1 though. Oh dear. Just catching the edge of the 7. Well, Wink at me's going to have... Well, he's got a chance here. He could actually nudge into those balls and get lucky and hold for the 2, but he didn't take the risk. But he's going to have to do something about that 6 ball. And that's a little bit of a tight angle to try anything. You're just going to have to drop it in. But now he's left with the problem of the 6 ball. Can't get to it. Now, can he squeeze that past 8? He's not taking a risk. He's keeping it tight, and the cue ball's tight to the 8 ball. And that's one way to put the pressure right on your opponent when you're leading 3-1 in a race to 4. And if Houdini doesn't get this, then ball in hand to Wink at me. And this is a chance to finish the match and get to the final. He's got to get from that 7 to the 8, so that's a crucial shot of the rack, and that will decide the match. I think he's just about there. Oh, he's just gone too far. And that's now in no man's land. There's nothing on here. And that's ball in hand. Didn't get to the rail. Don't know what Wink at me was thinking. I think he was trying to get to the rail with the 8 ball just to leave it dead, but it's ball in hand to Houdini, provided he's awake and realises that, which he hasn't. And that's what happens when you don't pay attention. That should have been a rack to Houdini, but if you're not watching what's actually happening in the game, then it's your own fault. And Houdini is now finding out the hard way, because Wink at me is just going to nudge the 9 in for the match. Yeah. So, Wink at me wins the match by 4 racks to 1. And 1 look at the bracket, that will update, and we'll see that Wink at me will move across again to play Larry in tonight's final. And we will see that the runner-up will get 315 $. The winner will get 635. And the players are already in. And I think they're lagging off right now. So Larry had a good little interlude there. Larry's won the lag. And it's a race to 9. And Wink at me's getting a 5 ball. Now once again, that is a fair handicap for Wink at me. More than capable of making the most of that handicap. So the tournament's been on for just short of 3 hours. Larry's misjudged that one. I do believe he played the pot because he's got himself on the 2. Now, can Wink at me see the 1? Yes, he can. And the balls are just sitting awkward the way the cue ball's landed at the moment. Difficult to pot that 2 and get on the 3. You had to have a blast at it to try and get the cue ball out. Little roll through, I think. Looks like it. Well, he's nudged 8 in the process, but that's just held him nicely for the 5. Now he's got the cue ball closer to the rail, which is perfect because the 6 ball's off the rail. So that creates a little angle that he needed. And probably just leave the long 9 ball. No crazy shots here for position. If I can stay awake, I'll manage to see the end of this game. Larry wins the first rack. Two ball goes in. And he's on the 1. 3 ball hanging over the left middle pocket. 4 ball, plenty of room to get onto it. And I think we're looking at a run out here. Oh dear, Larry's had a loss of concentration, shall we say. And Wink at Me has a thin one on the 5. Remember, he just needs the 5. Needs to watch the scratch though. And that's why he's missed the 5. Oh dear. Well, Larry's puzzled there. But it was just a thin cut in the 5. And he totally misjudged it. Oh, what's going on here? Larry's doing everything he can to give Wink at Me this rack. Gonna have to jump over this to get the 6. And he's got a nice little nudge in the 7. The worry in that shot that Wink at Me had in the 5 was a scratch into the top left hand corner pocket. It was always a danger, and that's why he tried to get it as thin as he could to avoid that. But then of course missed it altogether. So all that means is that Larry got his second chance, got himself in trouble, got out of it, and eventually won the rack. So he's leading 2-0. Dry break. And nothing but a safety here for Wink at Me. He's left that short, didn't get the cover behind the 6. And Larry can cut this one along the rail, past the 5, into that top right. He's going to hit it though. So, the 3, the 4, and then the 5 to get on the board. Oh no, I think Wink at Me's, I think he's in a worse condition than I am at this stage of the night. He's definitely showing signs of wear and tear, I'm afraid. And when Larry's 2-0 up against you, you don't want to be doing too many of them. Cue ball just going far enough for the 8. He's a wee bit straight. He needs to punch it in. So Larry is getting a lot of help here from Wink at Me. And Larry's 3-0 up. And another dry break for Larry, and a shot for the 1-2 combo here for Wink at Me. But problem with this shot is he's got to be delicate because he doesn't want to block himself off with the 3 and the 4. But he slammed the 2 of them in, but no shot in the 3. Got to get lucky here because these balls are all out there for the taking. And if you don't get this 3 ball safe, you could be looking at 4-0. Oh, a great thin cut, but unfortunately cue balls run right around and clean as a whistle into the top right hand corner. And here's another gift opportunity for Larry. Ball in hand and not a problem in the table. Now, can't leave himself short in the 7. He needs to get the top side of the 7, near the middle pockets. Well, he's top side. The only thing he can do now is block himself out of the 9 ball. He's played the draw. As you get the nudge in the 8, oh, he's going to scratch. Well, this time it's Larry that's doing Wink at Me a favour. Well, that could have finished better than the 9. Should still get it though. So Wink at Me finally gets off the mark. Oh dear, straight away he's scratched. So Larry, ball in hand. What's he planning? Well, he's going to take the 5-ball combo and get rid of the extra money ball. But all he's done is tied the 1 up, so thin 1, and he's not going to get to the rail. He's not got to the rail. But Wink at Me has ball in hand. Now, I don't think he can make the 9 combo. So he's going to go for the 3 fouls, and that's very difficult to do against the quality players. And Larry can easily spin off the rail here, I think, and get to that 1. Oh no, he can't. He's nudged the 7. So now what does Wink at Me do? It's not as easy now to get the cue ball tight and go for the 3 fouls, so he's going to have to go for the run out. And remember, Larry potted that. That could be a saviour there for Larry, actually potting that 5 ball with the 1-5 combo early on in the rack. Because now that Wink at Me's got the ball in hand, he's having to go for the run out, so he has to get them all to win the rack. It might work out in Larry's favour. You never know. Well, this isn't pretty. He's going to hit that 8 ball if he doesn't draw off the 6. And he's got to somehow get somewhere near that 7. Well, the 7 cuts. It's not easy though. But he should be on the 8. He's got to just pot this with the right weight just to hold the cue ball. And he's done that. So here's the one that can go wrong. And again, we say it every week, it's finishing the wrong top side of that 9. You've got to finish here or here. That's the one you want to be playing, somewhere from there. And he's right in the middle of no man's land. So it's the bank, could be a double bank. It looks a good one. And that's going to go second time. So Wink at Me reduces the deficit by 1 more. And he's just trailing by 3-2. But a dry break again. But this time it hasn't scratched. Not a bad safety. The 1 can cut. And he's blasted it in. And the cue ball's going right around the angles. And he's got a shot in the 2. And he should just gently roll this 2 in, because he's going to be on the 3. And he needs that angle in the 3 to get round there for the 4 behind the 6. Which is trying to hide itself away. Unfortunately though, he's stuck his cue ball on the rail. And that's a good shot. That was well controlled. So he could play a 4-9 combo, or he can go for the run out. And he's just gone a wee bit too far again. Another fiddly one. But he's holding it together. And of course the 5 ball gives him the rack. The 3 ball goes into the top right. And well, the 1 ball certainly doesn't bank, so well, he thought he'd have a blast at it, but that 7 ball was always a stopper. Oh, well, Larry will just jump over the 9. Can just see enough of the 2 to pot it, I think. And the cue ball will just come around the corner into the gap between the 8 and the 9. Oh, has he hooked himself? I think he has. And out with the jump stick again. So for any latecomers, if there's any out there, this is tonight's final of this week's Friday Night 9 ball between Larry and Wink at Me. Wink at Me, player 2 getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. And we are currently all square at 3 racks all, with Larry at the table. Looking to run out here and go back into the lead. Simple enough, eh? Just get that cue ball out into the middle of the table on the left hand side and drop the 9 in. Eight ball has gone into the top right, 1 ball into the right middle, shot on the 2 down the rail, and also with the angle that Larry's got, he can get the cue ball possibly between the 5 and the 6 down for the 3 ball at the bottom end of the table here as we look. Oh, he's just nudged into the 5. If he'd missed that 5, it'd have been perfect. But now he's got one of these very thin, nasty cuts on the 3, which he gets, and gets a little kiss off the 6. How's that looking on the 4? Well, he's got the angle there, so he's fine to go over for the 5. Well, Larry choosing to play on the short end of the 5. All hinges on this. This is Wink at Me's extra money ball. And in goes the 5. Well, off the end rail, possibly the right side rail if he wants, and just get far enough up the table to shoot the 9 down the rail. So Larry opens up a gap. It's 5-3 now, and he's breaking off in rack number 9 in this race tonight. 4 ball is going to bank into that top left. And Larry's got no shot in the 1. Maybe try and nudge the 1 along behind the 3 ball here. Get the cue ball up to the top end of the table. The 1 ball didn't quite get there, but now it's a thin cut for Wink at Me. Now you might have another blast at this. No, this time he's going for the safety, and that is tight. This will be a good shot to get a hit in this 1 ball. Into the reserve lighter now. The other one's run out. Well, that was a really tough shot to kick at that 1. So, ball in hand for Wink at Me. Now he's trailing 5-3. He knows with a 5 ball money ball lying in the left hand rail, he has to deal with this rack. And that's, well, that's certainly scuppered his chances of rolling the 5 down the rail into the top pocket. So it's even more important how he gets on this 3 ball. Now, that little nudge on the 5 has actually taken it off the rail. And that's helped him, believe it or not. That makes this shot much easier when the ball is actually off the rail, for you to actually judge the contact point. So this, to get 1 back. And in goes the 5. And it's 5-4 to Larry. Wink at Me breaks off in rack number 10. 6 ball has gone in the top left. Once again though, no luck for Wink at Me getting his shot on the next ball. Well, no immediate harm done there because the 2 balls tied up with the 7. Larry can thin cut the 1, but he's going to have to work the cue ball here if he's going to try and get into the 7 and the 2. And it is possible he can put a lot of draw into this and try and get across the table. And he couldn't get into it enough. But no doubt Wink at Me's going to find himself in trouble in a second or 2. Somewhere behind that 7 ball. Or is Larry trying the billiard? No. Well, that is strange as to what Larry was thinking there. I don't think the 2 would go. I presume it didn't. But anyway, all that matters is that Wink at Me has a shot here in this 3 ball. But how the hell is he going to get on the 4? Nudges into the 4. Has he blocked himself out? Yes, he has. So the old kick, he could possibly bank this. Well, the 4 ball is going in past the 8. Larry has to judge this right. He can cheat it slightly, but the only way it's going to go in is if he plays it pocket weight. He should be on the 5. And that's well done. and the angle on the 5 to get up with a 7. Little bit of left spin just to help it on its way. So the gap had been narrowed, but Larry opens it up again. He now leads by 6 racks to 4 in this race to 9 final in this week's Friday night 9 ball. And for the first time tonight, looking at the stream, it's buffering. It's now recovered. And Larry breaks off. The 1, the 4 and the 6 have all gone. He's got a possible 2-9 billiard from the cue ball off the 2 onto the 9. But he's keeping it tight. Wink at me, said a blast. A bit of a hit and hope, and he's left Larry the cut. And the angle that Larry's got in the 2, the cue ball has to get on the 3. He's got plenty of room to get there. Off 3 rails. As long as he avoids hitting the 7, and I think he's got plenty of room to do that. That needs a bit more running. Well, he's almost there. But likewise again, he's probably going to have to go 3 rails in behind the 9. Off the short rail at the top end and the side rail on the left hand side. Well, drew it onto the end rail. Now does the 5 go past the 8? Yes it does. Well played. So it looks like Larry is going to stretch his lead even more. So it's now 7-4. Well, Wink at Me needs something to happen fairly quickly. He's running out of racks. I think he can thin cut the one in. Can he? Well, he didn't think he could, so he tried to get it safe and he hasn't. Well, Larry could have played that one better. One ball tucks along behind the 2 into the pocket. Oh dear. And Wink at Me's pushed it off the rail onto the 2 and left it on. But there's still a lifeline there. The 4 balls tied up at the top end. And Larry's again possibly looking at an angle on the 3, and he's gone too straight. So he can go forward with left-hand English and try and bring the cue ball up the table. And he's managed that. Oh, that's perfect. A little nice nudge in the 8. And you can drop through in the 5. Now Larry, at this point, may well think of nudging into the 8 and 9 here, because he's bound to be on the 6 unless he gets really unlucky. The problem is, though, he's dead straight in the 5. He might try and squeeze a little angle here. I don't know. Well, he's not bothering. Well, if you're going to cut that 8, you can only cut it from here, and even then that's touch and go. So is he going to try and nudge it this time? He's got the angle to do it. Oh dear. Well, it's all gone wrong. Now that could be the break that Wink at Me needs. It was looking odds on Larry going to the hill there. But Wink at Me got thrown a lifeline, and he's got one back. Still trailing by 2. 3 and the 6 balls get in, 8 balls get in. And how's he looking on the 1 ball? Nothing doing. Hook behind the 9. Is he looking to push? Now, where's he going to push? Up in that far corner? Nope. Well, what's Larry thinking? Is he looking for safety up by the 2 and the 7? It looks as if he's lining up the bank. Nope, he's looking for the safety. And that's another good one. Easy kick though, but you just don't know where everything's going to finish up. And it's finished. The 2 goes in, no problem. Plenty of room. Sorry, the 1 anyway. Plenty of room past the 2. Well, it's either going to be a 5-9 combo, or Larry's going to get down on the left-hand side, or go up beyond the 5. Let's see what he does. Well, he's tried to get up on the left-hand side. That nudge in the 7 has just taken that bit of pace off the cue ball. So this is another tester. And remember, Wink at Me just needs the 5 ball. And in goes the 5. And so, there's only 1 rack in it. Dry break. And a shot in the 1 for Larry. How does that 3 ball look? Well, that goes in easily enough. I'm sure he's in the 1, is he? Oh, I think Larry, well, he's fluked the 3 in. It was hanging over the pocket, and he's also in the 2. Oh, sorry, no, I forgot. The one of course didn't go in. Well, Wink at Me will already be up there looking to see the 1-2 combo. And in goes the 2. How's he's locking the 1? Not a great deal of luck in the 1. It doesn't bank. So he's got to look for the safety. Well, I think Larry is more than likely to go for the bank here into this corner pocket, maybe even double bank it into that one. It looks good for a reverse bank. And in goes the 1. And he's got a sighter in the 4. It's not a gimme. Well, as long as he doesn't block himself out with the 8. Let's see what he's done. Oh, I think he's very, very tight here. I don't think he can get past that. Surely can he get past the 8? Oh, he's out with the jump stick. And the 5 goes in. Oh. So that's Wink at Me's extra money ball gone. And Larry's left with a thin 1 on the 6. He's bound to be on the 8, on the 7. Oh, he's nudged to 7. Well, he's ended up okay. Well, the tournament started at 8 PM UK time, and we've been on for 3 hours and 35 minutes. And Larry looks as if he's going to be needing just 1 more after this 9 ball. So it's Larry breaking off in rack number 15. 2 ball goes into the right middle. Nothing in the 1 again. And all the balls, more or less, barring the 7 ball, have all rolled to the right hand side of the table. So we've got a mess to be dealt with again. That's just sneaked out, so Wink at Me can thin it into the right middle. Oh dear. Well, this cue ball's doing everything it can to find a pocket whenever Wink at Me's playing a shot. Another cut, and the cue ball running round the table and straight into a pocket. Now, Larry, make sure you get the cue ball out into the table so you can see the 5 ball. So he's probably going to run the cue ball over that direction. Now, has he got there? I think he has. And how does he deal with the 6? He can actually get onto the short side of the 6 on the right hand side over by the 8 ball with this shot, believe it or not. Lots of top and left English, side rail, end rail, side rail, and run down. And the only thing he can do is scratch or block himself off. And he's blocked himself off. And he's out with the jump stick. And he's played it well. Well, it looks like the 7 into the top right hand corner. A little drawback for the 8. So we're looking at the last few balls in this week's Friday night 9 ball. And this week is the turn of the favourite to win the tournament. So Larry pots the 9 ball and he wins this week's Friday night 9 ball by 9 racks to 6 against Wink at Me. And one last look at the bracket, and we will see that Larry has won the first prize of $635 and the runner-up, Wink at Me, gets 315. Well, folks, that's it. That's the first complete Friday night 9 ball we've managed to see. But that won't be the case next week because I'll be back at work. So thanks to those that were watching and possibly are still watching.